All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of Multiplayer Mingles. Today, our guest is a very well-known podcast host himself in the community. He has multiple shows that he runs as well, so we'll welcome him on. This is Gershon from GP Snakes. Hello, Gershon. Welcome. Uh-oh, there we go. Takes a second for the audio to kick in. Just a second for the audio.
About an hour.
Just want to know so I can make you food.
Okay. My wife was asking me how long I'm going to be on.
No, I get that. My husband was doing the same thing. All right.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Thank you for having me. I love that introduction. I was the well-known podcast host. I was like, oh, that's me. Oh,
yeah,
I guess people do know about me.
What's going on, Kent?
What's up, kid?
Kent's the first one.
Nice.
All right. Well, tonight I've got about 20 questions for you, and I guess we'll just get her going. And
okay.
We'll join in, and chat can throw out questions and stuff as everybody starts to join in.
Mm-hmm.
So, first off, you want to introduce yourself for us?
Okay. Well, my name is Gershon. I run GP Snakes, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that. Breed ball pythons. That's what I'm specializing right now. Maybe down the future, I might add a different species, green tree pythons, emerald tree boas, maybe. But right now I want to focus mainly on ball pythons and get that rock solid, get real good at that. And maybe bring it into where it's my main job to where I can free up time to do other species and not have to work an actual work job. But that's future holding. Hopefully that can happen that way. But yeah, I'm also a podcaster. I also, like I said, run a YouTube channel. I do my podcast, Under 1,000 Pod. I do it every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, live, sometimes pre-recorded. I also do a show on my YouTube called Next Up, where I bring people who have just started their YouTube channel and try to introduce them to more of the people in the community to help them grow their channel. Because it's always hard when you first start your channel. You always worry about people not watching. So I try to help people out in that way, and get to know them a little bit, do a quick little interview and send people over to their channel. I also have, my document my breedings, my eggs, pulling, my animals, what I make, what I create, the good and the bad. So I show all of it. Sometimes the bad is bad and it's sad, but you still got to show that part so people can have a real expectation of breeding. Exactly. Just not assume everything is great all the time. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I mean, father, husband, all that good stuff too. So balancing work, snakes, family, and sleep. That's the triple or quadruple threat.
Yep. Gotta love that. It's, the divvying of the time. The
yes.
Time that there's not enough time in a day.
Very true. Very true.
So what made you choose your business name? I'm assuming it's your initials?
Yes. It started out, I had a whole bunch of weird ideas I was trying to go with. And my wife was like, why don't you just use your initials? And I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound as cool as I think it does. And it kind of, because I was going to say GP ball pythons, and that just doesn't roll off the tongue very easily. But also at that time, I had emerald tree boas, green tree python, and a red tail boa. So I had multiple species. So I was like, well, let's go with snakes, and GP snakes kind of just flowed so easily. And I was like, well, there we go. Let's go with that. And that's how GP snakes were born.
Yeah, very cool. So, and you touched on this a little bit. So what species do you keep?
So right now I have mostly ball pythons, pretty much 99% ball pythons, and I have one red tail boa. My emerald tree boa passed, my green tree python passed, so I haven't got a new one. That pain is still there, still there.
Mm.
Though those are my first arboreal species. And one of the emerald tree boa was like a one dream snake I wanted to get when I finally got into snakes and learned about them. So I had her for almost 7 years. So I it's gonna take a little time before I jump back into that. Um, but as of right now, just the red-tailed boa is the only other species besides the ball pythons that I have.
Gotcha. Hello, Don. Welcome, welcome.
What up, Don?
Okay. So, how long have you been in the hobby? You said you had your emerald tree boa for 7 years, so
Yeah.
at least 7 years.
So as so that's an interesting question because I had turtles at one point in time as a
Mm.
kid, and I had a green iguana as a kid too. But then I got away from all pets. Period. I had no animals for a good chunk of time. I just recently got back into everything about maybe I seen it on my Facebook page too. It was like I think 11 years now. So 11 years is when I started back into reptiles. I actually started with water Chinese water dragons. I got those.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
technically, they weren't even mine. They were my at the time. She was my girlfriend, who is my wife now. They were for
Mm.
her. She wanted them, and she only wanted them for a week because after a week, she didn't want to do anything with them. So they became my pet. And then that's when I officially got my first ball python, first snake ever. After I got the Chinese water dragons, and then I fell in love with ball pythons, learning about them, researching about them. So it's been about 11 years I've been keeping reptiles again, and about 9 years that I've been breeding ball pythons.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you kind of touched on this, but what got you into keeping? Like you love reptiles and that's what sparked the interest?
Yes. One of my earliest memories is catching like frogs, lizards in the wild, and just keeping them, which probably wasn't the best way to do it because I didn't know what I was doing, but that got me fascinated about them and learning about them. And I started actually, with the internet, we can learn a lot faster, and I started learning how to take care of these animals and kind of fell in love with them all over again in a different aspect at that point. So I wanted to get them, and I got them, and I took care of them, and I realized they do have personalities. A lot of people don't think reptiles have personalities. They
Mm.
do. Sometimes their personalities are just mean to other people. So that's that reptile's personality. But I have a couple snakes that really like to be held. Like when I go get them, they hang out with me. They want to hang out. They don't want to go back in their tubs. They just want to crawl around and hang out with you. You got some snakes, you know their personalities when they don't want to be touched. So you just leave them be. I'm like, I'm just change your water and leave you alone. No problem, bruh. I'm gonna leave you there. So that was just one of the things I realized as I got more into the reptiles that they do have personalities. It just takes you time to actually notice them and understand their personalities sometimes.
Right. So, talking about ball pythons, what is your favorite co-dom and your favorite recessive?
Okay, so everybody knows my favorite Co-dom is Inchi. I love Inchi. I love the banding pattern. I love the orange it brings out. I love the head stamp. I love Super Inchies as much, but not as much as Inchies. I really, really like Inchi. Like I will always work with Inchi in my collection somewhere, some way, somewhere, 100%. Um, the recessive, it's been jumping. Like albinos is one of the things that really got me excited about ball pythons. I love the look of albinos, love them to death. Um, but the market for albinos is not as plentiful as it used to be. People are not
Mhm.
into them as much, so it's hard to have a lot of albino stuff if you're trying to run a business. It's hard to sell it, so it just sits there. That's just not business savvy per se. So I still love albinos, but I'm really starting to like pieds more too.
Mm.
I produced my first sets of pies last year, and now I want to make a lot of pies. I'm trying to make pie stuff. So I am gonna blend those two together. I'm gonna make albino pies because got to blend the
Mm.
two loves together. But I'm trying to not work with as much albino stuff, more of the stuff that I'm interested in and I like, and I don't mind holding on to if it doesn't sell. So that's
Yeah.
where I'm kind of reorganizing my collection albino wise. I still will have albino clown in there somewhere, but might have albino clown pies or albino
There
clown
you go.
pie G stripes. I might just add a whole bunch of different recesses to it too. That's the goal down the road.
Yeah, that there's nothing like catching your first pied. I don't know. It's just something about that morph, man. I don't.
It is. It
Oh,
is. And
your
I
jaw drops.
hatched out yellow belly pies, so they were even brighter than normal pie. So it
Oh
really
yeah.
threw me for a loop. I was super excited about that.
So, you said pied is something you're working on now that you're really excited about. Is there anything else that you're working with that you're looking forward to seeing down the line, like production wise?
So I am trying to get genetic stripe into clown. Also get that into pied and albino. I have a pairing of a pied yellow belly het clown to an albino G stripe. Um, did I say G stripe or what did I say?
Albino
Did I?
pied G stripe?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm working on that now, trying to make some double, triple, and quadruple heads possibly for the future pairings of that. But I'm definitely trying to get G stripe in the crown clown. That's the goal as well. But I'm also working. I have enhancer. I have a clown head enhancer female that I'm raising up, trying to work that in, go in that project, the clown enhancer project, aka the clown
Mm.
desert ghost project, because
Mhm.
enhancer and desert ghost still go hand in hand. Um, but another project I'm really looking forward to getting into eventually is Monarch. Um, I have a het Monarch male. He didn't do his job for the last 2 years, so
Oh,
I'm I was trying to make pos hets to grow up females, and he just none of the clutches I paired him to they ever produce actual babies. So I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and just buy a het Monarch female and raise her up, or because I don't know if my pockets are there to buy a male monarch to make my own hets of as right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. If I hit the lottery, different story. Uh,
I feel that. Or like a tax return, be like, "Hey, honey."
it would be nice, but that usually
You're
goes to
right.
the kids. That's for the
You're
kids.
right. Yeah, there
That's their
you
money.
go.
They grow too fast. You need to buy new clothes all the time.
Makes sense. So, does your wife and kids help you with the collection, or is it just you?
So mostly 90% is me. My son will come down every so often to help me clean for a few minutes, but he's really down here to cut eggs. He always finds his way down here when I'm cutting eggs, so he's there for cutting eggs, and he loves to be on the YouTube videos. I haven't made a video with him for a while too. He wants to be in a new video, so I gotta get on top of that. But the wife's like, look, that's your thing. Go do your thing. She tells people I have snakes. Like she advertises for me. She's gotten me like 4 to 5 different sales here and there. So
Oh
she's
wow.
advertising it for me. But she's like, I'm not cleaning nothing. That's you. So I can respect that. I can respect that.
Yeah, I get that. So, in your opinion, what is the most underrated gene?
Hmm. That's very interesting. I want to say for me it would be Mojave. It's either Mojave or Pinstripe because I forget. Well, then again, it might be genetic stripe too. Um, who? Yeah, it's in between those three because I really like genetic stripe for a long period of time, and then I fell out of love with it, and
Mm.
I've recently fell back in love with it and want to work with it and do some stuff with it.
Seeing G
My,
stripe clowns, man, those really, woo.
yes, and I thought G stripe pies couldn't be made. I thought that was like a lethal combination. Now that I know that they can be made and people are making them, I want to see that in there as well. So yeah, I think I would have to go with G Stripe. I think it's underrated and it's coming back because it's been around for so long. That's the
You
thing.
can't
It's been
you can't
around.
find like adult G stripe females on Morph Market now. Like it's crazy.
Nope.
Woo!
Nope.
My video really lagged there. Holy smokes! It's like I just talked like 10 million miles an hour.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Woo! Gotta love
Oh
technology.
yeah.
Elias, hello.
Elias, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Yeah, I have a G stripe female and I have the albino G stripe female. So I'm holding on to those girls, getting them up to size, getting them to breed, and hopefully working them into projects in the near future. But yeah, maybe G stripe I think is that, but it's underrated, but it's also coming back. So it's in the middle right now.
People
But
are
there's so
just
many.
figuring it out.
Exactly. There's so many. There's also like the tri stripe now, and there's like a D stripe I think out there.
Yeah, I
Um,
like D stripe.
so there's multiple lines of stripes that we can mess with now. So which is good and bad because you know you're gonna have. I'm team D stripe. I'm team genetic stripe, and just like
It's
the
like
monarch and the
Ultramel and
ultra male,
Monarch.
yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna come out there, and we're gonna have to see who's the better gene and what works with everything. But just find your own lane and do what works for you. I say,
Yep, if you like a pattern or a color on something, then you work that pattern and color. Like
mm-hmm.
it's not a battle
Very
between,
true,
you know,
very
colors and the
true,
morphs and all that. So it's your personal color and pattern preference.
100%.
So, do you feed frozen thawed or live?
So I do mostly frozen thawed. When I first like really started getting into snakes, I was doing live here and there, and I was always worried about the rat biting the snake, 100%. And then I realized I can buy frozen thawed in bulk, so that could save me on my rat bill a little bit there, because it's hard to find live every week, 100%, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
As my collection grown though, I get those few stubborn eaters that only will take live. So I got like maybe 5 that only eat live. I try to trick them with a frozen thawed, have a live rat there, and then throw the frozen thawed. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But also, as my collection grows, I have to think about possibly breeding my own rats to save money as well. But that is also time consuming. So it's either you save money or you save time. So figuring out which is the best for me at this point is terrifying and fun all at the same time.
So that led into this question. So you're considering breeding your own feeders at some point.
Yes, I am considering it. I'm trying to get the snakes to pay for a shed that I can put, because the wife is like, you can't breed rats in the house. So if I can get the rats to pay for a shed that's insulated, got electricity to keep heat and cool, keep the rats cool, that would be wonderful. That's the goal. Hopefully in the next year or two they can do that. That would be amazing. That would reduce my rat bill drastically, but it would take time out my day too. I have to find time to clean the rats once a week, which is terrifying as well, because I've bred rats before. I bred them on a smaller scale, but I bred them before, so I know the whole process and the cleaning, and I know it's time consuming. But it does save you quite a bit of money, and
it definitely does.
If you can breed enough, you can start selling those off, and that can pay for the bedding itself and the food. So ultimately, they're free at that point. So
it's just the time you're putting into them.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so why did that not go? Who do you look up to most in the hobby?
I look up to, that's interesting. I look up to Garrett because I love what he's doing. His facility is crazy. crazy.
Mhm.
I look up to Miguel to the way he's done his YouTube and expanded from just YouTube in America to across the globe now. Like
Mhm.
what he's done in Mexico is bringing up that market, amazing. Um, I look up to Antoine, how he's taken YouTube by storm and grew so big. Like I want to do that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to my YouTube be that big and grow that much. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Like I put work into it, so I want to see it grow. But those are I look up to the guys I've seen kind of where they started and where they are and where they're seem to be continually going. They're
Mhm.
always moving forward, either improving their own situation and improving the industry situation at a whole. They're bringing so much to the industry instead of taking so much away, which is amazing to see. So that's why I try to do my little part where I do my shows that spotlight other people or try to get people on YouTube or get them to do a podcast or bring them into the community and show like the support we all show each other in the community. That's the little portion I feel I do to show the community I love and be the change in the community I want to see.
Yeah, I know somebody from that, when you had me on and like I had maybe 200 subscribers and didn't really feel like I was going to go anywhere and it's definitely nice to have somebody out there, boosting the little
Mm-hmm.
guy.
Yeah,
It makes you feel good and makes you kind of gives you confidence and makes you feel like you can kind of, that you're going to be able to do it.
very true. Very true.
Rippin' reptiles, TJ, hello, how's it
What
going?
up, TJ?
Okay. So, what is your favorite part of keeping ball pythons?
Oh, that's interesting. Um, it's a toss up. It's three things. It's either feeding for not the reason people think it is for. It's just the whole will they eat or won't they eat? Trying to get
Mhm.
them to eat. It's that whole process. It can be aggravating at times, but it's also so much so satisfying when you get a snake to eat. It's amazing. But then there's pulling a clutch of eggs. I love the whole process of pulling a clutch of eggs, counting them, checking for veins and all that. Love that. But then
Yep.
there's also cutting eggs. Oh, I love cutting
There's
eggs.
nothing like the adrenaline rush with that. Nothing beats it.
Yeah, it's that is those moments because in a second you could be very happy or very sad.
It's
It's
crazy, isn't it?
very much so, very much so. Oh,
Like a kid
I've
on
had
Christmas. Did you get, the video game console you wanted, or did you get a pair of socks from Aunt Elsa?
very true. I've had plenty of sad moments. And most of mine have been on camera too, so that's even worse. You can see the sadness in my eyes.
Just
Oh, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, 100%. So I would say
So,
ultimately egg cutting would be the number one.
yeah, I feel that. So, besides the ball pythons, what other hobbies do you have?
So, um, it's not so much a hobby anymore. I used to do another podcast where I talked about like anime, superhero shows and movies. So I did a podcast about that, talking about that because I love that stuff. And I sat down and would talk to people about it. Mostly talk to myself to a mic and put it online. But people did listen a little bit, and some people asked me to bring it back. I was thinking about doing it, but it was as time consuming as the snakes. So
Right.
one had to give, and the snakes kind of won.
Mhm.
But maybe someday I can get back to doing it. Besides that, I play a little bit of basketball, some softball here and there. Um, yeah, that's about it. I think so. Oh, I coach like my kids' team here and there.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so yeah, I used to ride motorcycles. Stop that because I got kids and people don't know how to drive. They drive crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's about all the hobbies I have. Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
I
Big
used to have
D, how's
so.
it going?
What up,
Welcome,
Derek?
welcome. Okay, so what would be your dream animal to own someday? So, ball pythons, and then like any other species.
Okay. Hmm. If it's a ball python, it'd be like a six recessive, four co-dom ball python. So it would be. I would go. I would. I would have to be albino in there because I got to get albino in there. Albino pie clown G stripe. Monarch would mess it up. I can't do that. So maybe four. Then codons of like inchy, blackhead, maybe leopard. I would like that.
Ooh,
That would be
ooh,
super cool. Um,
that would look really wild.
I know, I know. Thank goodness we're recording this, so I can go back and read this. I can double make that.
Like,
And
what brain
then,
blast did I just have?
and then another species. So I would want an emerald tree boa, a basin emerald tree boa with the diamonds, like there's like the white diamond ones. They are so
Oh,
cool looking.
yes. They're
So cool
beautiful.
looking. I would like that. I would like that. I would want one that if I could have as a baby and raise it up so I can get it real used to me, so it'd be okay with being held and not super defensive. I can work with it, but that would be really cool. I would like that.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They are. I was. It was a good year and a half. I was just obsessing over them, looking at pictures, watching videos. I was like, I wanted to get one so bad, but at the time I didn't have $6,000 to get it, and now it's even more expensive. So yeah,
Yeah, that price tag. Oof.
yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely huge price tag.
So, what's something you wish you knew when you were first getting into breeding and keeping?
I wish I would have known how to work projects, um, how to set yourself up with that project, how
Mm,
to get your females first, raise them up, and then go look for your males. Because I kind of did the normal thing most people do, just buy pretty stuff. Bought a lot of
mm-hmm.
males that I eventually had to let go because I was male heavy. Um, I wish I would have set things up in the beginning like that. There's a lot of guys that have recently got in the last 2 3 years, and just off the knowledge of other people that they took the time to talk to before getting stuff, they have set themselves up amazingly. And I wish I did that before getting in. I would be at a totally different level than I am now. I might even be full time, being able to this be a way of living, like ball python breeder only. But yeah, that's one thing I wish I'd have known how to set up projects, and then got into a lot of stuff that I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy that, and then it blows up, and I had the chance to get it when it was like a lot cheaper than it was at the time. Now it's through the roof, and I could have been on that project a long time ago. But hindsight's 2020 sometimes, but yeah,
Yeah,
being able to set up projects that will thrive and be there in the future. Wish I would have been able to do that.
yeah. And it's kind of hard to predict the market and stuff because I mean, like G Stripe's a perfect example of that. Like, who would have
True.
thought, like 5 years ago that G Stripe was going to become as big as it is now, and everybody wants
Very
it,
true.
and there's like nothing available.
Nowhere in sight.
Yeah, nowhere in sight. So that would, yeah, I can definitely see that. Um, that's something I definitely wish I would have learned too. because I did the exact same thing, bought the pretty stuff. And it was
Yep.
like Pokemon, you got to catch them all. You got to have
Yep.
everything, like a mix of all the genes, you know?
I
I
had
wanted to be
so
like,
much
I'm
stuff
going to be
that
the
I
next Canova.
did not use. So much stuff I did not use
Mm-hmm.
that I just eventually had to sell or let go to other people to try to build a better collection. And I'm about to do it all over again. I'm about to let go of things to not only improve my collection, but actually shrink it down to a more manageable size.
Mm-hmm.
As I've gotten more snakes and produced more clutches, I realize I might not want to produce so many clutches in a year. So that means I have to reduce the number of females I have, but put more power in the females I do keep. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm adjusting now. So
There you go.
yeah, it's always a learning process. 100%.
Okay. Greg from Rippin' Reptiles is here now. Hello, hello.
What up, Greg?
What is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to you in this hobby?
Well, they are really excited too. Let me try to text my son to come get the dogs. 1 second. Okay, I can hear my wife yelling at him. The most exciting thing. Uh, hmm. Most exciting thing. Okay, so this wasn't. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was the most exciting thing, but it was the most like emotional thing that happened to me. I was on Nicole Tisdale's podcast, Cocktail Snakes and Cocktails. Is it Snakes and Cocktails? She's gonna be so mad at me that I'm messing up. The podcast name.
Is that Lady Tiz?
Lady Tiz.
Lady Tiz.
Is it
Okay.
Snakes and Cocktails? Or Cocktails and Snakes? I know it's cocktails. Or maybe it'd be reptiles and cocktails. That sounds better. So I was on her show. Sorry, Nicole. I love you. Love you so much. Don't be mad at me. I was on her podcast. I was her guest. She was interviewing me. And in the midst of the interview, she's like, well, I want to give you a surprise. She had multiple different people come on as other guests telling me thank you for, being who I am and pushing people to come
Aw.
on shows and stuff. And it was just a beautiful moment for me. Like I cried a little bit, trying not to cry on the internet, but I did. But it was really, it just really touched me that they all took the time out to come say thank you and say appreciate what you're doing, and just to know that people do see what you're doing and appreciate it. It means the world sometimes, and that was just a amazing moment for me within this community. So that was a beautiful moment for me. Yeah, I had a nice moment when I hatched out albino inchy clown that I've been trying to do for the last 7 years. That was great too, but this moment made me cry, and it always sits with me. So
It was a happy cry.
exactly.
So, what's something you've seen change in the hobby for better or worse?
So many more people are willing to share stuff. Like as I was getting into it, we were already kind of leading towards this way with being able to share more. And I heard horror stories of the past of the industry where people would just shut people off and don't give them information, and knowing they're going down the wrong road and not tell them or anything. That has changed so much now that people are so open to sharing, helping each other. Like, yes, we are competitors at times, but so many people go, hey, I don't got this, and this guy wants something. You have it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got that. Or, no, I know somebody else who got this. Send them over here to him. And the openness that everybody is to helping each other, whether it's helping them with a sale or helping them with animals or helping them to figure out what you produce is not what you thought you produced. The sharing of information from breeders that have been breeding for years to new breeders that's trying to learn stuff. Um, it has been a 360 of the industry, how people not only talk and communicate with each other, but actually share information with each other. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so much more of a family atmosphere to an extent. Like, yeah, we still have our crazy jokes here, little weird sexist jokes here, little adult humor here, but
A little bit
in
of
the end,
drama here and
a
there
little bit of
sprinkled
drama too.
in. Yeah.
That's what family is. Family
Yep.
has fights, but in the end, we still come together and support each other. So
At the end
that's
of the
one of
day,
the
go to Tinley and have a big old party and
exactly,
hang out and drink together.
exactly. So that's the biggest thing I've seen that has changed, and it's continually getting better and better each year.
I agree. That's definitely the biggest change that I've noticed. And like I've been in the hobby since 2017, and I've like even then you could still see the remnants of, well, I don't really want to tell you anything.
Mm,
I need to keep those secrets to myself. I don't want competition. But
hmm.
for me, like Gavin from Balls to You, he was the first one that was like, "Nah, forget that. I'm going to tell everybody and help everybody as much as I can and give
Yep.
all the secrets cuz why do you need to pay for information?" Why do you need to pay for that information? That's something that I can just give you. So I'm going to give it
Yeah.
to you. And I
Yeah.
think that him doing that has kind of changed the way we all communicate and talk in this hobby. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
See, we just come into this world, but what we've heard is there's now a friends and family aspect of things versus everyone for themselves. Yes, it's
Yeah.
definitely changed.
Yeah.
Back in like the
100%.
early 2000s, from what my understanding is, like back when like albino was like 10 grand for per animal, people were just awful to each other.
Cutthroat.
And I could
Just
not
cutthroat.
imagine not helping people, that because that's just like who I am. So like
Yeah.
that just blows my mind. Let me see. So, what motivates you in the hobby?
Um, to produce amazing animals, to continue to share the positivity of the hobby, to try to make the hobby more mainstream, to show the joy that reptiles bring. Um, there's just so many amazing things that a lot of people don't realize that happen with reptiles, whether it's snakes, lizards, or they're just as connected to you as the furry animals, the dogs, the cats. It's just a different look of an animal.
Hmm.
They are. It's amazing how the fear of what snakes were been portrayed in so much media throughout the years that people still have that, oh, snake, instantly think poison or venom. Don't realize there's multiple different types of snakes that kill different types of ways that you can have, and still
Hmm.
it's so. I just talked to someone today, was like, how they asked me, they know I have snakes, they were like, how are your snakes doing? It's like, they're doing good. He's like, oh, you haven't got bitten or anything, right? You staying away from the poison ones, right? I was like, none of my snakes are poisonous, none of them, because you mess up one time, you're dead. So I don't do that. All mine constrict. That's how they kill. They're like, oh, I didn't realize that. I was like, yeah, yep, yep. So that, just showing people the positive side of this community, the positive side of reptiles.
Educating.
Exactly. Seeing
Yeah.
people getting over fears, like, that's huge. There's so many different people that are in the snakes now that had a fear for them and just took that chance to get over that fear and fell in love with reptiles. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes.
So that's a big
It is.
motivator there.
Stronger
Yes,
together. Exactly.
definitely. Definitely.
All right. So, final question. If you had any advice for new keepers, what would it be?
Ooh. So research your projects. Um, recessives everything. Whatever project you get in, make sure there's recessives in it. Um, get all your females first, whether they're hatchlings or adults. Get them first. Um, find you a good group of friends, and communicate with those friends. Learn from those friends, but don't close yourself off to the rest of the community. But have your small group, but still expand your network as well. Um, you don't have to get on social media, but it does help. It 100% does help. The industry is moving in a new direction, it seems, and social media is one of those big things, a part of that direction. So you definitely should get involved with it in some way, some form. Remember, it's you make social media what you want of it. You control what your eyes see, what's on your feed, what videos you watch. You control that. So don't let it overtake you. Keep in control of it. Um, have fun. Have fun. Like, yes, this is a business at times. Yes, you're cleaning poop a lot of the times, but still find those moments of fun in that, because that's the excitement that's going to keep you cleaning that poop at 3 in the morning, or cleaning those rats at 2 in the afternoon when it's blazing hot and they stink. So find that fun and the passion for it, and don't let anybody dull that from you. There are going to be a lot of people say, "Why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing that. You should stop. You're not good at it." It's going to happen.
Don't listen.
Don't
Shut 'em
listen.
out.
Don't listen.
It only matters what you think.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Follow your path. Yeah, that's about it.
Well,
and watch
you
my YouTube
survived.
channel. Watch my YouTube.
Yeah,
channel.
there you go. You'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot from other breeders, and it's definitely a good source of information.
Very much so. And don't take just one person's advice. Take multiple stuff and then do what works with you with that advice. Like, there's not necessarily one way to be successful in this. There's multiple different ways to be successful in this industry. You just have to find your path.
Yep, 100%. So, Gershon, you survived my questions.
All right. They're good questions.
So, thanks. So we've come to the part of the show where I like to give people the opportunity to show some of their favorite animals if they like.
Okay.
So if you have anything that you'd like to show off, because I know you don't really get to do that too often on your show.
I don't. I usually
Yeah.
just talk.
Yeah.
usually just talk. Oh, you're real excited, huh? Okay, you gotta calm down. So I always like to show this girl off, but unfortunately, she's albino, so she's always hard to see. Wait, let me see.
There you go. I can see her.
So she is an inchy albino, 100% het clown. And the thing about this girl, she is one of the girls I produced right before I was going to stop breeding. I was going to actually get out of breeding and just keep a few ball pythons as pets. And then I produced her, and I kind of got back into breeding. So she is amazing because of that. Special girl here that was about to bite me because she was super excited.
They love their food. That's good.
This is very true. Let me see if I can find this other girl. Nope, that's not you. I think you're further away. And of course, you're probably in shed. That's how it always works.
Oh, isn't it?
Let's see. Oh, you did shed, but you didn't have a great shed. Oh, you didn't have a great shed, so you're gonna be a little mad. So she's got a little bit of stuck shed, so
That's all good.
it happens. I'm in Wisconsin, so we get real cold right now, so I got to get a humidifier in my room and pump it up.
Yeah,
But this
winter's a killer.
is Nakia, my pied yellow belly pos het clown female. Um, she's just amazing.
She's
I
beautiful.
love her. Like she
I
is
love how
so
high
bright.
patterned she is.
She is super high pattern. That's one of the reasons why she did. I decided to keep her here, and she just was right away went to eating frozen thawed. So that was always a positive there. 100% love that. Let's see. I think I can show at least one more. Go back inside. Go back inside. She's trying to escape.
She says, no, I'm not done.
And then here's another girl I produced. This girl is a yellow belly clown, 100% het pied. She's up for sale. I she's up for sale. I would sell her, but once she hits a certain weight,
You're
she's gonna
holding on to
stay.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
Once she hits a certain weight, she definitely is gonna stay. And like
And her flaming is pretty.
she's just a great example of yellow
Mm-hmm.
belly clown. Um, just so beautiful.
And you
And
said she's 100% het pie too, didn't you?
100% het
Yeah.
pie. That's like she was gonna go definitely back into my pie clown project. But I'm trying to get away from yellow belly. I want to get asphalt in there instead. That's the goal.
Ooh. Okay.
So I'm trying to let go, not hold on to too many yellow belly animals as of right now. Even though I produced a lot of them this year or this last year, unfortunately, which are really nice. I was trying to make clown pie yellow bellies, but I missed on the odds twice.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a bummer.
that's the way it goes. Oh, and I can show this girl. If she doesn't bite me, don't bite me. Don't bite me. So since Inchy is my favorite Co-dom, it'd be silly not to show another Inchy that you guys can really see. And this is an Inchy clown. She's pos het albino. This girl should be up to size later this season because she's a beast eater. She's at like 1,200 grams. Give her another 4 to 5 months to see if she produces some follicles. Oh, what did he say?
He said, I got the red stripe that girl needs.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. Well, this girl is actually X23. That's her name. I name all my snakes after anime or comic book heroes or cartoon characters.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
Gamora.
Yeah. I love to do I do it too. So the way I do it is I get a snake, put it on my channel, and then I give people 3 names to pick from. In the comments, they put that name in the comments, and whichever name gets the most votes will be that snake's name. I haven't done it in a while actually, and I stopped doing it on my YouTube channel. I do it on my Instagram mostly now, but it was a way for people to interact with the channel and do it.
Yeah, that's here
Star Wars
too.
and Game of Thrones. Okay, I see you. I see.
I
Still
we
haven't
name
watched
a.
Game of Thrones.
Whoa,
I haven't
man.
watched it. I
Oh,
haven't.
you'll like it. You'll like it. It's good.
Okay.
Until you get to like end of season 7 and then season 8, and then you're gonna hate yourself. But the rest of it's
That's
great.
why I was like, I don't know if I should start this because I hear that last season was so bad. So I'm like, I don't know if I should start this.
PK.
What up,
Going
Bosa?
on?
So I wasn't sure if I should start it, but maybe I should. Maybe I should. You said what?
There's outrage.
I
Oh,
understand.
man.
I understand. I understand. I understand the outrage.
And most of my animals, it's usually like what we're watching at the time. Like if we're watching a certain series or So like there was one time where when I got my black pastel pieds, I was playing Kingdom Hearts
Okay.
on PlayStation, and so I named the male Roxas and the female Shion. And so like stuff like that, like video game characters. My panda pied's name is Hey Bye from Avatar, like the panda spirit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just like random stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a Aang. My red tail boa is Toph. Um, I had a who was it? I had a Zuko was a male normal. Um, I think I had a I think I had to no. I have a Katara. She's a het clown female. So I did a lot of Avatar too. I had a Korra. Korra is the albino G stripe. Korra is the albino G stripe. So I have a couple different avatars in there too. I love
That was like the
Avatar.
theme of my whole first clutch. My whole first clutch had avatar names. I had
Nice.
Aang, I had Korra, I had Roku, um,
Nice.
Kyoshi. It was yeah.
Nice. What's up, Mrs. Bosa?
YouTube vents,
YT.
hello. Or YT vents. I'm assuming that means YouTube.
Yeah, I assume, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so everybody's plugging in now, but
You
seems like
guys just
we've
gotta rewatch it now. You
yeah,
gotta do
you're
stuff.
gonna have to hit the rewatch. So we're gonna plug your social media, and I even got a fun little thing for you here. So
Oh.
everybody,
Oh.
go ahead and scan that QR code. It'll take you to Gershon's link tree where you can follow him on all his social media. So, which includes
Includes Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I think TikTok's on there. My Morph Market. Um, and the audio version of my podcast is up there too. So if you just want to listen to the audio, you can. Yeah, I think that's all up there. But if you just put GP Snakes into Google, you'll find me. I flooded the internet with GP Snakes so hard, I'm the first thing that pops up in Google now. So
you have it owned.
exactly. Put in that Google work.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on, Gershon. It was awesome having you here.
No problem.
I'm glad I got to know you a little bit more, considering you get to know all of us. So it's our turn to get to know you a little bit.
I appreciate that.
And see some of your collection.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me on. Thanks for asking me to come on. No one ever asks me to come on podcast. Side note, I will be on like 2 next week, but it took a while for people to ask me. But yes, thank you so much for asking me to come on.
Yeah, of course.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So I guess with that, the next live we have coming up will be on Saturday, and we will be interviewing Kayla from Lucyland. And she's the 13-year-old daughter of my best friend, and she has an amazing collection. She's going places. So I will be making the link and stuff for that probably tonight. So everybody keep your eyes peeled for that, because you're not going to want to miss that one either.
Nice.
And thank you again, Gershon. And we will
problem.
see everybody on Saturday. Have
All
a
right,
good night,
everybody.
guys.